up, everyone? Welcome to the Casually Fit podcast. My name is Robert. It is episode 27 this week. First off, I want to just say thank you for stopping by. Hope everybody's week is going pretty good, right? We are Can Talk. We are in the, basically middle of March. 2021 is going by pretty quick. For a lot of people, this is a time where if you had a New Year's resolution, it's a slim pack right now. If you had a New Year's resolution, if you look at all the other people who also started out 2021 with a resolution to, in this context, lose weight, it's a slim pack. So if you're part of that pack, great. Okay, that you should pat yourself on the back. You're in basically the middle of March. If you started to try to lose weight in the beginning of the year, it's been a while, right? You've gone through some ups and downs. You've more than likely lost weight, got some new habits, and all power to you. That's great. So make sure you take a second and look back and realize this, just so maybe you get a little bit more energy for tomorrow's workout. And then for those of you who may have fallen off, guess what? You don't have to wait till next year to try again. You can try again tomorrow. And then, hey, if you fall off again in a couple weeks, you can try again right after that. And you can just keep on trying. There's no limit on how many times, how many times it takes to lose weight. For some people, hey, maybe it takes them the first time. Other people, it might take them several times over the course of several years. But at some point, they figure out what they actually need to do and they stick to whatever plan that they're doing and they are able to lose the weight. And there's thousands of examples of this all over the place. Just look online. And today, for the Fit Fighter of the Week, again, I want to show people somebody who is out there, who has tried to lose the weight, somebody who looked in the mirror or looked at themselves or talked to a doctor or whatever it is, whatever reason that they had, but they went, X amount of years living away with certain eating habits and certain other habits, sedentary habits. They went a while, acting in this realm of bad habits, and they realized, hey, I got to change some things around. And not only did they decide to change some things around, which is great, but you also have to look at what happens afterwards. And today I wanted to show you the Fit Fighter of the Week. Going to change the name one of these weeks. But the Fit Fighter of the Week is somebody who made that decision and is well on that path down the road. They've been through the ups and downs. They're past the 3-month mark. These are people who didn't just start a month ago or 2 months ago or 3 months ago. These are people who started this one specifically, I want to say, it's about a year. People, when you're that far, when you make a decision to lose weight and you say, I'm going to eat less, I'm going to work out, I'm going to do all these things. And then if you're still doing it 2 weeks later, that's great. Still doing it a month later, awesome. And as time separates from the first initial, hey, I wanted to lose weight, as you get farther and farther away from that date, and if somebody is still doing the things that they set out to do and it's working, I mean, that is something that every single person who has not done that or hasn't done that in a while or is trying to work out and lose weight, that is a person that you need to start looking at, start following, start checking out, start listening to. Obviously not completely. You can still be crazy and lose weight. Like anybody can lose weight if you just stick to the certain things. So since anybody can lose weight, you can just have, so I want to say, yes, listen to them, but be obviously skeptical like everything else. But, when I show you these people, I hope that you go to their Instagram every now and then and you look at some of their posts, and some of their posts will be talking about a tough time that they went through when they're trying to lose weight. Because no matter what, anybody who tries to lose weight, especially when it's a lot of weight, 50 plus more pounds, they're going to have a bunch of stories and experiences that they're going to relay out to you, because these are going to be a lot of people who are trying to lose weight and succeed at it to some degree, they have these experiences. So that's where you should be looking for these people if you're trying to lose weight. And today we have Planet Fit Brit with 2 T's. So go to Instagram, go to Planet Fit Brit, go check her out. It looks like she started at 220 or 280 pounds, and her goal weight is to get down to 135 pounds. Okay, so she was at her heaviest 280 pounds. Okay, so that's a ways up there, right? And we all know this. So that's a ways up there, and then dropping all the way down. I mean, that is a lot of weight to drop, right? That's 150 plus pounds, or just under 150 pounds that she's going to drop. And you would think, if you're at that 280 pound mark and you're like, I'm going to get to 135 pounds one day, from that level, it's like, is this even possible? It's like, it seems, I just know that people who have this same similar goal, it seems impossible. It's so much weight to lose. There's so many factors that come with it. So much attention and time, and effort and strain goes into losing weight. And then you have work, you got school, you got kids, you got, husbands, wives, you got all these other things, friends, you got all these other things that are at play. So to look at that, it's very easy to be like, this is impossible. And that's why I show you Planet Fit Brit, because her plan is to get to 135 pounds, and she's at 147 pounds right now. She's almost there, right? I mean, she's basically there, and that's amazing. She's like 13 pounds off. So definitely go check her out. It looks like she loves the stairs. She says she's a stair addict, and I can't talk today. Yeah, she just likes cruising on the stairs. You can see she's burning some calories. She's staying on there for, looks like, about 30 to 60 minutes sometimes. I mean, really getting after it. And if you go to her Instagram, you'll actually just see a whole gang of pictures of her next to stairs. And not only do you get the picture, you also get some good insight. Like I said, she talks about certain things, talks about her being shy about certain things, and you just got to read her posts, right? You just got to go check her out, get that inspiration, because you'll see she has some before and after pictures, which screen recording is coming, not today, not this week, but it's coming. I'm trying to look for a picture. Yes, she does have before and after pictures of when she's, 6'3", so June of 2020 last year, and then December of 2020 last year. So this is all very recent. She didn't lose all this weight, 5-10 years ago or something like that. She's still in the midst of it, right? She's still trying to lose more weight. And again, like I say, every time, which I just always want to reiterate, when you want to lose the weight and you have this goal and you put your all to get this goal and drop the weight. And if you're really dedicated, sometimes you'll do whatever it takes to get down to that weight by this whatever date you decide to do it. But you have to have in the back of your mind or something, or a separate plan. If you can go as far as a separate plan, that would be perfect. But what happens after you lose the weight? What happens when you get to that goal? Right? Is that goal just your paradise? Is that just the place that has the answers to all your problems? And as soon as you get there, that moment, that morning that you wake up and you strip down to make sure there's no extra weight on you, and maybe you even starve yourself of some water, right, a couple days before, and you hit that weight, and then boom, you're there. What happens after that, right? What's going on there, right? And when you're going from 280 pounds to 135 pounds, I mean, that's a huge goal, and that comes with accomplishing that comes with um, a very intense and insane elated feeling that most people would strive for, right? So you can't really discount the feeling and the accomplishment that you get from actually getting down to that amount of weight. So I'm not saying to completely discount it or move past it or not recognize it, but I am saying don't get so caught up in it to where you start adopting habits that are not sustainable and you start cutting corners to just lose weight fast. And the problem is a lot of, this is just kind of human nature. People, like competitive people or driven people who put in their mind that they're going to lose weight and they're going to get down to a certain weight. It's really hard to talk to those people about, hey, you should think about this, you should think about that, hey, watch out for that. For most people, it's very difficult to take in that outside information and apply it. So it's a struggle for sure. So I get it, and I don't know if everybody should be. I actually no. Everybody should be looking towards that next step. All right. I was gonna say, hey, some people don't need to look towards that next step, but the data shows that most people are not looking past that next step. That's the problem. Is a lot of people are not looking to, hey, what happens after I lose the weight? And of course, I went on too long of a tangent about this again, but yeah. So it's great. Go check out Planet Fit Brit. And yeah, again, she can be a source of motivation, source of inspiration for you. And hopefully she's there for you for that. So go to that for Instagram. I'll have it linked down in the description box for you as well. And moving on to the next segment, which is, guess what? It is the nutrition tip of the week. Now, this week, I kind of wanted to just come in here. I kind of wanted to just probably keep it too casual. I didn't really think or spend too much time this week. Sorry, unfortunately, because I was busy all week as usual. But, so this week's going to be a little bit different as far as the nutrition and the fitness tip. One thing that I wanted to talk about is it's so difficult. For me, what I try to do is I try to get in the mind of people who are trying to lose weight, right? I try to, try to find ways to connect the dots and just do something to combat this thing. There's a statistic that half of Americans or whatever will try to lose weight basically every year. Somewhere around half of Americans are going to try to lose weight every single year. And out of that amount of people, right? So like say around 150 million people, whatever it is, only like anywhere from 20 to 5% of all those people, only 20 to 5% of them are actually going to succeed at doing it. So that's obviously it's a very low number when only 5 to 20% succeed. 20% is a pretty good number. But so many people don't succeed at losing weight. And furthermore from that, a lot of people don't decide to want to lose weight. And so I always come across the dilemma of what do you do? What do you do? People just, one thing that I always come to is, people are going to live their lives. I'm always a fan of people living their lives and doing exactly what they want to do, for sure. But I feel like there's certain like guardrails, or there's certain guidelines, or there's certain suggestions that should be followed. that, or I don't know about should be, I don't even like that, like, kind of forcing it. I don't think anything should be forced. But it would behoove many of us to follow certain guidelines. Don't cut people off in line. Probably don't kill anybody. Maybe eat healthy. Try to eat healthy, because we have data that shows that eating unhealthy leads to a lot of complications within your body, and it creates a more painful and lower quality of life, especially the older you get. So maybe it would behoove you to maybe try to eat healthy, right? And that's the way I think, and that's same goes for exercising. I just look at it as we have the data, and this is more like a guideline, and it becomes very difficult when you're trying to help somebody else out who either doesn't know that they need help or doesn't want help. And I've come across many people of both of these, right? I've come across many people who clearly need help in a certain area. And I have, I've been many situations to where somebody needs help, right? And and let's say I have the answer, and it's pretty clear to them that I have the answer and I can help them. And then, I've gone and given them the answer, and they refuse the answer, and they refuse to recognize it as an answer, even though it's what they should do, and eventually they adopt it, and eventually um, they come to terms with it. But I've come across so many people who are so resistant and so hesitant to take in any advice or any, kind of direction or anything like that. And, when you're coming at people with advice for, when you're just like spouting off advice to people, unsolicited advice, you're going to always get that you're going to get that reaction more times than not. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, people who are, distraught and kind of out of themselves and asking for help. But then you give them the information, and then, but they're still resistant towards it. And so that's the problem I see with, with people who, telling somebody that they should lose weight. I would never really tell somebody, hey, you should lose weight. I mean, I would suggest it. I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm not, and, if I'm not doing tests on somebody, right? I mean, who's to say? You can maybe eyeball it and be like, maybe you should lose weight. Um, but, uh, but yeah, telling somebody to lose weight, I feel like that. I mean, if you think about all the people who have been leading this weight loss, these fitness videos over all the way from back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the people who are leading this movement of, hey, let's lose weight, a lot of those people are telling people, you need to lose weight. They're telling them exactly what they have to do, and they're forcing them and saying, this is what you need to do. And in part, they're right, but is that the best way to go about it? I don't think that's an effective way to go about it. If it was effective, I think that we would have a higher success rate and a higher amount of people trying to lose weight per year, with that higher success rate. So that's where it comes to, that's where I don't know. I just felt like talking about this today, where it's, it's like, what do you do? If you're somebody who's trying to lose weight, or if you're somebody who has lost weight, comment below what broke you. And I know, and the thing is that another part that I come to all the time is some people just need to go about their lives and one day just realize it possibly all on their own. And I hope that my channel is something that what I always hope for all the videos that I put out and the podcasts that I put out, I hope that somebody just happens to come across one of my videos or one of my podcasts. um I hope they just happen to come across it at that time to where they have it in their back of their mind and they're like, I need to lose weight, I should lose weight, I should start eating healthy, but then you get confused and you're like, should I do it? And then you come across my video and hopefully I help push it over the edge. Um but 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 the real question is, I mean, one, that's not a very, I don't know, it's a very weird thing to, try to insert yourself and um, try to put out information for people who, you know, are just typically very resistant to the information. and so, and not everybody, obviously, who's people who are trying to lose weight, those people are typically very open to information because they're actually trying to do it. But then you have this uh, larger group of people who seemingly either don't try to lose it or they try for a short amount of time and then give up. So that's the problem that I have, and I think that group is there's a few people in there who are pretty resistant to this new information, and I always rack my brain about how to connect and how to um, really come across to that person like, hey, what I'm trying to do is just to enlighten people and show them, hey, there's some information out here that maybe you should take a look at, because you may or may not fit into this category to where you're going to be negatively affected by some of the things that you have done and some of the things that you continue to do. And maybe you should switch it up. And here's a few things that you can do to switch it up. Um, and and yeah, I hope people, you know, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's just something I want to talk because I was thinking about this week. This is a very different episode than I usually am putting out. Next week will be a regular everything, but I was just trying to think about, what's a good nutrition tip? What's a good fitness tip? And there's 1,000 tips for nutrition. There's 1,000 tips for fitness. And that's clear. There's so many articles and tweets and Instagram posts, and there's just so many nutrition tips and fitness tips. So um, that will always be there. But when I was trying to think of it, I was also coming across the problem of like, well, what's going to actually be effective? And there's different types of people out there to where, what's effective. Like a tip that I give, if I give a running tip to somebody and I say, hey, keep breathing through your nose even though you're 4 miles in and you feel like you can't do it. Keep breathing through your nose. That's a tip. Well, that's kind of a universal tip. That tip can also be for people who are just starting. But either way, if you give a specialized tip to somebody, it's really it's only for those people that are receiving that information. And when I was thinking about the nutrition tip and the fitness tip this week, I always think about, well, I always want to talk to the people who are the most resistant. And I was just coming to the crossroads of just like, all right, well, these people are very resistant. And I've come across a lot of people that are very resistant. And what usually works is my own consistency on just, saying what's up. Um, possibly planting a few seeds, and that's pretty much all I can really do. Is just keep on, showing information, keep on trying to explain things in a hopefully just a better way than what's been explained before, and then hopefully just plant little seeds. Um, but other than that, a lot of people really decide to do these things for varied reasons. But I feel like for the most part, you know, th- they they make the decision to lose weight at a certain point, and it's usually a point that they come to on their own. I feel like, and that's kind of an issue. Well, it's not really an issue as long as they're making the decision. It doesn't matter. But as far as like trying to come across to that person, be like, hey, you might make your decision a couple years from now, but you should be making the decision right now. That's the thing that I want to get across to people. It's like for most people, I look at them and I think, one day they're going to realize what's up, then they're going to figure it out and they're going to correct what they've been doing wrong, and they'll eventually get on the right track. And that's great because they get on the right track and they realize it, and everything like that. But for some people, they don't. They don't get on the right track. And for some people, they spend. You can talk to somebody who is told by a doctor, hey, I had a family member like this. They're told by the doctor, hey, you need to start exercising. And when you're told by a doctor, hey, you need to exercise, that's the person that you should probably be listening to. Listen to that person. Well, this person didn't, and a lot of people, don't. Even when you're told by a doctor, hey, you should be doing this one thing or another. A lot of people just go, nah, and they don't do it. And then all of a sudden, maybe a year or 2 years down the road, they decide to do whatever that they were doing. But then they kind of have that year or two kind of lost. And that's why I'm here, because I want to hopefully help people realize, hey, the time is now. And you should try to start doing these things right now. There's no reason to wait. And yeah, I just always, doing this, I'm always going to come across the problem with trying to convey that message in a non-annoying way, and try to convince people who don't want to listen to me, or don't want to hear any of this, trying to convince them without actually convincing them, not being like salesy about it, being like, hey, check this out. So I don't know. I figured, instead of me, writing in a nutrition tip and a fitness tip and running through the podcast and just giving you a tip, I just figured I'd talk about this, just because I want to talk about it, and really curious on who's listening, and if you're very resistant for a long time, let me know, let other people know down below of why you were so resistant, and what allowed you to overcome that resistance and change your mind. And that'll help me out, and it'll also help the other people out there, because if you say that you're resistant because you kind of felt embarrassed, or you kind of had an ego about the whole situation, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be like, hey, that kind of sounds like me. And hopefully you just sharing that information will, plant a seed in this other person's mind, and then they, move towards trying to lose weight. So very different podcast episode this week. I know it's different. I know. I apologize. This is actually going to be a short one this week, because I don't want to waste y'all's time, but it's time for one of my favorite parts of the episode, where we just look at some crazy people who spend probably arguably way too much time in the gym and exercising. But that's what they want to do. So we're going to celebrate it and we're going to highlight them to, so at least, they get some sort of they get a bunch of benefits for being fit freaks, but maybe they get another extra benefit for being on the highly popular Casually Fit podcast. But this week, one thing I will say, when I was looking this week, I came across a lot of issues trying to set up this podcast this week. When I was looking for people to, one note, it's Women's Month. I didn't know. Never mind. It's Women's Month this week, so celebrate them. It was Women's Day the other day, like Monday or something. So that's great. And I just wanted to give this little note. Is one thing that I see online, especially when I'm looking for the fit fighter of the week. It's mostly women. It's largely women who are out there trying to lose weight. So props to all of you. And then I even looked up a statistic on it, and it was like for the year based on male, female, and don't come at me about the gender stuff. I'm just talking about a statistic. These are the only genders that they studied. And it was like 63% or somewhere around 60% of women decide to try to lose weight, and only like 41% of men try to lose weight, which there's, I can already, I know a bunch of dudes who don't care to lose weight. So that all sounds accurate to me. And then I see it online when, you look up weight loss transformation or anything like that, it's mostly women. So shout out to women out there. That's great. But what I was getting to when I was looking up the fit freak of the week is a lot of people out there think they're fit freaks. Okay. A lot of people out there think that they are something. And, I'm not sitting here saying I'm something or anything like that. But if you're going to call yourself a fit freak, if you're going to call yourself an athlete, I mean, you have to resemble a fit freak and an athlete. And when I was searching certain hashtags this week, looking for the fit freak, looking for the people out there who are, thirst trapping people on Instagram, posting up all these weird, creepy photos the creepy photos that plague all of fitness Instagram is, it is a psychology. I would hope psychologists are studying the shit out of it. There's so much. I feel like there's so much to study on narcissism. It's insane. And that's the problem with a lot of these people think that they are fit freaks. And I don't know. It was just weird that it was actually very difficult to find somebody to where I could be like, okay, this person is strong. They push themselves. They focus on things other than just strength, like cardio and all that. This is very hard to find somebody because, again, fit freak for me is somebody who can connect all the dots, who has the athleticism, who has the strength, who has the cardio, the breathing capabilities, all of that. And it was actually very difficult for me to find somebody this week. But I did find somebody, and this person's name is Michael, Mickael. I've never seen Michael or Michael spelled that way, _Galera. You can find him on Instagram. It's linked down in the description box for you. But this dude, one thing that won me over right away is, if y'all don't know out there, I do surf, and this dude looks like he's body surfing here. I don't know if he's from Hawaii. I think he lists himself as French Polynesian, so I'm assuming he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and he's got the Samoa tattoo. I'm pretty positive he's Hawaiian. So this dude's just getting after it in Hawaii. And if you go to his Instagram, you'll just see him lifting just heavy weights all the time. And he's a very strong dude. Multiple plates on the bar. And he incorporates cardio in with what he's doing. And again, these are This is somebody, he's out there diving, fishing. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're going to, my big thing with working out is like, I get it if you want to work out and you want to look a certain way and you want to be a certain way and feel a certain way, whatever it is. But I just think it's much more beneficial mentally and just much more better use of your time if you're using the gym to strengthen your body and strengthen your breathing capabilities and strengthen your capabilities to be able to take all of that outside of the gym and into the real world and start doing something like mountain biking, diving, surfing, running, hiking, CrossFit, skiing, snowboarding, whatever other outside activity there is, BMX riding, jumping around, skateboarding, whatever it is. And, as you get older, your options are limited, but there are still options out there. And so that's why I like people who kind of somewhat do that. And this guy, I don't know him at all, and I have no idea if this is completely accurate, but he at least seems like that type of guy. He seems like the type of guy who goes in there, lifts a bunch of weight, throws it around. It looks like he doesn't own a shirt when he works out. He just works out shirtless, right? So he just throws around some weight, doesn't know where his shirt is, and then goes out and catches a fish or something. So that's pretty dope, and you should go check him out, Mikhail Galera _Galera at Instagram. Again, you'll just see somebody out there doing what's up, right? Just going after it, And again, I mean, I don't want to get cliche, but we're only here once, right? We're only here once, and how are you going to spend that time? How are you going to spend your attention? And you can spend your entire time, you can spend your attention just sitting in the gym all the time. And you can spend your time just focusing on growing your bicep half an inch or something. You can spend your time doing that. That's cool. Whatever. That's what you want to do, I guess. That's great. I don't see how that is a long-term thing that you can do, and why would you spend so much time on something that eventually is going to expire? Your ability to do is going to expire, but I bet your desire for it does not expire. And that's, I think, the big problem is, your body is going to break down. So you chasing that extra big, or that extra inch on your arm or tricep or whatever it is, again, that your body's going to break down, and that's not going to be possible to grow that anymore. And even if you did, you still look like shit because you're old. Everybody looks, when you compare bodies of a mid to late athletic 20-year-old and a mid 70-year-old, athletic or not, look, the body is not the most desirable thing to look at as you age. That's just how it is. I know my body. You put me up next to a young buck. Look, I get it. Girls are gonna go towards the young buck, not me, and that's just because that's just how life is, right? The body gets old. I still got it, all right, but there's still that difference, and so I just think if you spend your time in the gym focusing on how your body looks, and you have your whole identity and you have everything caught up in how you look and how your body looks, again, I don't think that desire is very hard, I don't think that desire is very easy to get rid of, especially when it's compounded over years and years and years. I don't think it's very easy to get rid of. But your body, again, it's going to start deteriorating at some point, and then what are you chasing then, right? What's going on then? You're going to have some psychological, things to deal with at that point. And so that's why I don't really get the whole grow the biceps and, all that stuff. I mean, I get it, but I feel like there's other things to do. So And that's why you should go check out Mikhail Galera, because he's going to show you that there's other things to do than just sit in the gym. This guy is a fit freak where he's strong, he's athletic. He might not know where his shirt is, right? But he's strong, athletic, doesn't know where his shirt is, but and he's a fit freak. He's very fit, very athletic, and he gets out there. He gets outside into the real world and uses all that athleticism. And that's where, hopefully you can go check him out and get a little bit of inspiration to be like, all right, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get in shape, and I'm not going to do it just to look a certain way, but I'm going to do it because I want to go jump on a mountain bike at some point. I want to start hitting the trails. I want to start surfing. I want to catch some waves, catch some tubes. I want to do all that. I want to get barreled, want to get shacked. Whatever. All right, that's this week's episode. Next week, I'll tell you about, if you've been listening to this podcast, you'll know that I have had debilitating back issues for a while. And I've recently just got over it to where now I am running every single day, and I'm able to surf and run, and my back is feeling fantastic. It feels great, and it's getting stronger every day. It's not back to 100%, but it is very close. And again, I can run and surf and work out, do all of that pretty much without any problems. And just 2 or 3 weeks ago, for a while, I couldn't do any of that. I couldn't even lift off a 25-pound, 25-pound plate and put it on a bar. Like, just carrying it and moving the way my back would move and trying to lift it up, I just realized it was too painful to even do that. So next week I'll talk to you. I should have talked about it this week, but next week I'll talk to you about how that kind of came about. And it came about in a weird way, but I'll talk to you about that next week. I appreciate everybody who listened this week. Again, it was kind of a different episode. Just want to talk, just trying some things out. We're in episode 27. It's my podcast. There's no sponsors here except for me. Go check out the website, liftrunstretch.com. Sometimes I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. And that's what I felt like doing this week. Hopefully you liked it. Maybe you didn't. But I'm going to try my best to see if you like next week's episode. All right. Have a good one.